Carrying on with the area of the leg, let's create some straps in order to make the connections. For this first part, let's create a cylinder, like so, on the right leg. Let's make the shape closer to the shape of the outline of the leg. Closer over here, also over here. I think that works. And now let's make some fixes. These edges may cause some issues. By using the brush Z-modeler, let's head to the option, Edges, and we'll hit Delete and complete Edge Loop. And we'll delete what we don't need. We'll delete this one here, this one. Well, at the end, we'll leave only one for each border. Something like this. Let's hide the upper lid and the lower lid. And let's hit Delete Hidden. Alright, we've got a piece like this one. Let's add a couple of subdivisions in order to get the shape curved. And the same thing as we've been working, delete lower for collapsing the subdivision. And now we can apply a zero measure. I think a lower value would be helpful. Let's try out 0.1. I'd say this works. Again, using the brush Z-modeler, let's remove this inner one. And what we'll do is by changing the option from delete to insert, let's add some edges. One over here, one over here, and this will be more than enough. The next thing we'll do is to take... Now, let's add some thickness to this piece. A thickness, more or less, like this one. Yep, more than enough. Let's hide the other polygroups, except this one over here, by hitting Ctrl-Shift, and let's do something else here. These polygons over here, we'll convert them into another different polygroup. So Ctrl-W, and it's different to the other one. And these ones, let's extrude them slightly. That way, we've got a shape like this one. Having the base of the strap ready, what we'll do is to use this same template in order to make the rest of the straps, so we wouldn't have to make them from scratch. Simply, it'll be about moving, holding Ctrl and middle click for making the copy. One over here, and this one, we rotate it. Another one over here, and we also rotate it. Let's make the ones below. Let's simply mask this one, invert, and this is the one we'll start duplicating now. Control, duplicate, rotate it, up to this portion here. Control, duplicate, and rotate. And we'll still have to take these straps and start adjusting them. After some modifications applied with Move, the transpose, and by using some masks, I've been able to get this result. These kind of things save a lot of time, since we wouldn't have to make all the pieces from scratch. But simply, it's enough to make just one piece with certain level of detail and start duplicating that piece and modify it. That's basically the idea of this technique. I've also modified a portion of the foot protector, so it protects a bit more these areas. They were too small, so they were not looking strong enough to protect. After getting the sole ready, we simply start to modify these pieces slightly. For instance, the area of the heel. I've already taken it down more, and I've simply made it have contact with the sole. And this central area is a bit tilted, and it's still a bit too short. So we adjust it by using Move and adjust the shape here. Based on this technique we've just covered, which is to create a piece and duplicate it in order to create pieces with more complexity. Let's make some extra pieces for this section. Over here, I've already got them. Let's make a couple of straps for the rear section. It basically is simply make a mask on the foot, extrude the pieces, a long strap covering part of the heel, and a couple of straps on the sides, which connect them. And that, by simply masking the foot, the processes have been exactly the same we've gone through. Besides that, I've also created some straps for the fingers. I have simply created one. As you can see, is the same geometry, but slightly modified. And then I've duplicated them. Exactly the same technique. Another piece we want to create are some lateral straps. Since this was kind of floating, it was looking odd, so it was required to generate some straps in order to make some connections. A couple of insertions with smaller straps. On this base I've made one and duplicated it. And finally, something similar to this pattern of straps, but applied on the sides, in order to connect this plate and the base of the sandal. The same thing for the other side. So the idea is that these pieces I've shown to you, you can create them for your own character. We'll also leave this file available for you to load it into your project, so you can have a guide of how the straps should be. At the end, it is not that hard, since you've already got the technique. It's simply, well, it does take some time to complete the piece, but nothing else. And once we get all the piece done, we carry on with the next step, which is to combine them. Let's combine all these pieces in order to apply the mirror with more ease. Merge, merge down. Once we get all the pieces combined, we'll hit mirror and weld. And both these straps on the base of the sandals can be taken into a single tube tool. We've already got the base of the sandals ready. By the time you are making these straps, something you should keep in mind is to, we don't want the straps to get too smooth. If we want to smooth them, we would do it manually, but in this case, we rather want rigid edges. So I recommend to these straps and these plates, add a crease on the borders, so you don't get them too smooth. Alright, I hope you liked this video. With this, we've got almost all the pieces we'll need for creating the clothing of the character. The pieces we still have left, we'll be adding them on the way. The details and those sort of things, we'll be adding them little by little. But just with this, when we start detailing. This is it for the time being. See you then on the next video.